Welcome to Sunday. It is November the 21st. It is about 11:03 a.m. in the morning. And today I wanted to talk about a few different subjects. Some of the things I think are going to be a bit controversial for some, but these are things that I have given great thought to, and these are things that are based off of my experience. Now, they are, of course, as everything on this channel is, these are my thoughts and opinions about things, and people may agree or disagree, and that is perfectly fine. I don't talk much about this on this channel, but if you don't agree with something I'm saying, if you disagree with it, it's perfectly fine to make that known in the comments if that's how you feel, if you have different thoughts about something. My only requirement will always be that we are respectful to one another if we do disagree. This channel is a safe place for those who have experiences or those who wish to have experiences. It is a safe place to express opinions, thoughts, feelings, to talk about experiences without having someone attack you or, make statements that are very, really, really negative towards you. So, anyway, I wanted to talk first about this concept of light and darkness. But before I do, I always like to give a tip on astral projection every Sunday, as I told you. And this Sunday, I would like to talk about the idea of, again, not focusing too much on the actual experience of astral projection in order to get out of your body. As I've talked about in previous experiences, especially some of my recent previous experiences, when I've talked about listening to National Public Radio, which is something I don't recommend. I do not recommend that you listen to National Public Radio in order to get out of your body. For me, for whatever reason, that's what I've been listening to at that early time in the morning, and it's been happening. It's been working for me. But the important part to this, the important element to this, is when you lie down to make an attempt, you should try in your mind as much as possible not to think too much about it. In fact, again, many of my successes with astral projection have been when I've just been relaxing, just really truly kicking back, and I've had something on in the background, and I may not have even intended to go to sleep or to even really get to that point. I'm just, relaxing. That's it. In my mind, somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about maybe it would be nice to do it, but it's not at the forefront of my mind. I cannot stress this enough, guys, that if you obsess about astral projection, it is probably just simply going to make you frustrated. And the less you back away from it, the more success I think you're going to get, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense, but it definitely works. So first I wanted to talk about this idea of light and darkness. And this is something that I've been thinking about for a while. I didn't know when I would put this in a video, but I am beginning to think or to feel very strongly about this. In this society that we have, we picture light as being pure and good and darkness as being evil. But in my experiences, what I'm beginning to discover is that light is simply light and darkness is simply darkness. It's simply the opposite of light. Why is it that we see light as good and darkness as evil? Is anyone out there ever asked themselves this question? Other than the fact that perhaps they've seen things in movies and TV, maybe they've read novels, books, those types of things. But other than that, have you really asked yourself, what is so evil about darkness? Truly, if you're sitting in a dark room, why are you afraid? As opposed to sitting in a room of light. Well, in a room where the light is on, you can see everything, and presumably you'll know if you are alone or not alone. Even though, in regards to this, with my experiences, I don't believe we're ever alone in light or in darkness. There's always beings around us. I know that's another thing that people don't like to hear. It makes them feel a little creeped out, but I'm just kind of being honest with you. There are beings all around us at all times. Even when we perceive that we are alone, we're not truly alone, in my belief. So light gives us the impression that we know and we can see everything. And in darkness, we get the impression that we're not able to see who or what might be around us, as if something might jump out at us in the darkness. But the truth is, for those of us who astral project, many of us, I believe, I do anyway, when I lie down, it's in darkness. And that gives my third eye an opportunity to open and to see in a clearer way, so that I can see even more than what I see with my physical eyes in the light. The other thing about this light and darkness thing, and the thing that is beginning to change my opinion about this, because I once had that opinion that, beings of light are, it's this wonderful pure thing, and maybe beings that might be of shadow or darkness are all pure evil. And the thing is, when I've had these experiences in the void, and I've talked about this in my previous episode, by the way, if you haven't checked that out, it was absolutely amazing, and it was one of the most significant experiences I've ever had. When I have gone into that place, it is called the void, the source. I've heard other people say it's the I am place of all things, where you feel the connection of basically the universe. Complete darkness, guys. Complete darkness. But it was extraordinary. The most extraordinary feeling I have ever felt. And there was not even a grain of light in that experience. So these are just some things to think about. Think about the opinions that you have about light and darkness, and think about why you have those opinions. And speaking of the void, the womb, I'm calling it the womb. It honestly took me most of Saturday to get over that whole thing. I think I slept probably half the day. It was very, very intense. When you connect with the source, when you connect in that way with all things, it tired me out. I mean, I wanted to feel it again. And in fact, it was interesting because before it happened, I remember that I did think to myself, wow, it would be interesting to feel that again. But I tell you, be careful what you wish for, or be ready for the, things that happen after you have an experience like that, because it is extraordinary, and quite overwhelming. So you just have to be ready for it. And again, it's taken me time to get over it, really honestly. And yeah, so but it was an extraordinary experience, and one that I don't think I could have on a daily basis, but one that is simply amazing. Lastly, today I wanted to talk about my theories on higher and lower vibrational frequencies, and why, actually, guys, I'm going away from labeling these things as higher or lower frequencies. The reason is, first, I had a discussion with my mom, and as we discussed this, it made more and more sense to me. It was actually something that occurred to me during an experience. Why do we label these things higher and lower vibrational frequencies? When we do that, I think we limit ourselves. There are different frequencies. This is what I've been trying to, in my mind, do. I think that this is something that is going to take time, because in my mind, I think to myself, well, a higher frequency is something for people that are more advanced, and a lower frequency is for those that aren't. Like we talk about lower vibrational places in the astral plane and things like that. Guys, it is my belief that these are different frequencies, that you change from one frequency to another frequency. But labeling them as higher or lower gives them this context that one is better than the other. And I don't know that I completely believe that or not. Now, I believe that there are specific frequencies out there that are not as pleasant as other frequencies, but one frequency compared to another frequency, they're different frequencies. At least again, in my opinion. And depending on that frequency, once you are able to match that frequency becomes your reality. So for those that exist in that reality at that frequency, there may be places where they have absolutely no idea that this 3D frequency we live in exists in the same way that we don't know that their frequency exists. Because as we're doing our lives, we're not seeing it. We're not hearing it. Our senses aren't picking up on it. So in regards to that, if we're not seeing or hearing this thing, then to us, it simply does not exist. And for them, in those frequencies, they may feel the same way about us. And it wouldn't be until they were able to change their frequency to ours that they would understand that actually this earth plane, this 3D dimension does exist. So I know I've said some things again that I'm sure that people are going to be like, well, wait a minute, wait a minute, lower frequencies, higher frequencies, this is the way it's always been. There are higher vibrational frequencies and there are lower vibrational frequencies. But today, what I'm telling you is my belief, which is there are different vibrational frequencies, but that does not make them higher or lower. They're just different. I will talk more about this subject on other episodes, but if anyone has any thoughts or opinions about this, I would be interested in hearing it. Thank you so much for coming on another journey with me, and until next time, take care.